Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going to be taking a look at the SH Monsterarts Red Eyes Black Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's get started. And here we have the Red Eyes Black Dragon, looking so damn good. I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up, but there are hits of red underneath that matte charcoal finish that are bringing this figure to life in a way that I was not expecting. And man, Joey would be proud. So again, this is Joey's key monster right here, his ace. And damn, they did a solid job with this guy. So jumping in, head itself, the top portion is independent from the bottom, so you got to make sure they're aligned, otherwise he's gonna have that goofy little derp face right there. But he can close his mouth all the way, open it up. His tongue is on a little plug-in way in the back there, and very clean paintwork. It's not like this is a, let's say, hyper detailed figure in a sense like a Godzilla. You know, this is from an anime, so it's not like Godzilla where he has like the potential to have more smudges. Mine is looking pretty clean. Eyes nice and red, shiny, peeking through. Neck articulation is superb. He's got all those little segmented joints, as you can see, able to get some S shapes out of that neck, which is so damn good. If you could get S shapes out of the neck, forget it. That is fantastic. As you can see, all independent little floating pieces right there. The wings themselves are going to have joints right here attaching to the back to move the whole wing itself. You can bring it down all the way as well, wrapping around him as if he is in defense mode, and all the way up as he's flying. This portion is independent, plugged in right there, as well as one right behind it. Got to be careful with them. I am not risking breaking this figure. And then the overall arching portion itself is also attached to a hinge at the very tip where it carries those other two right here. So you can flap around. Very nicely done. These aren't heavy in any sense, like the Flame Wingman wings or single wing. That wing is way too heavy. This guy, nice plastic. It's very light, so henceforth I gotta be careful with it to not snap it, but it's not going to have this guy toppling over. His arms will have a bit of rotation at the shoulder. And he will have a bicep swivel with his little elbows being, are they double jointed? Kind of more like singular, it seems. Doesn't really bend the other way, which is fine. I mean, for what he is. And then his hands on plugins as well. Speaking of which, very nicely done. Talons are nice and sharp right here. The chest, let's see, hang tight buddy, has some movement actually, so mainly at the waist, a little bit at the chest as well. Yeah, there we go. So he will have a portion right here that does allow for some crunching, along with the one down here at the waist as well. So it's present, just not going to notice it too much, but it's there. His legs have rotation at the socket right here at the very top. Knees, I want to say, yeah, it moves at the top as well. So you got movement at the bottom right here. So I will say that this is double jointed, just very minimal since it's kind of stuck in a more crouching type position. And I will say, to get the most of this, you got to make sure that this tucks into the bottom as such, not the other way around. Otherwise, you're not going to get the most out of the joint movement. And that's what I'm looking at the actual package, how it's got it tucked in. Ankles will have some decent rocker. And then his claws do open up and close for like flying poses, standing. If he's gonna grab an enemy with him and just chuck him, it's all present. And the tail. Oh boy, this tail. Segmented through and through. Beautiful, beautiful S shapes. But I mean, look at that. Can almost do cursive if it wants to. That is so good. Very, very nice tail through and through, all the way. Independent pieces, floating, moving in harmony. Fantastic. Oh man, this guy he is surprising me. So cool. So Red Eyes, I am very happy with you. In terms of, let me see if I can get him standing here real quick. In terms of accessories, Red Eyes will naturally come with a base, but he also comes with an additional set of open splayed claws, or hands, I guess if you want to call it that. The ones for his hands, not its feet. So opened up, fighting type stance. He's got a pair of these. And then he also comes with this very dope effect part right here. Nice translucent red. Definitely going to be using this for some Dragon Ball figures. And of course he also comes with a flight stand, but not going to bring that in. For a quick size comparison, I'm going to scooch him over. And I'm going to slide in very carefully our Flame Wingman. And again, Flame Wingman was the first from the YuGiOh line that I've purchased for the Monsterarts. Very excited for him. And man, what a disappointment. His wing is just way too heavy. Right arm, way too heavy. And his frame, well, as you can see, he's got a slim build. So really the tail barely allows him to stand and just like execute poses. So unfortunately, I am not thrilled with Flame Wingman, but Red Eyes is knocking it out of the park. So moving him out of the way, I also want to just show off side by side the Godzilla evolved from the New Empire. He is in a crouching pose, but you get the gist as to what Red Eyes looks like next to him. And on a more random note, since I happen to have him out and he is a newer release, I'm just going to go ahead and slide this guy in here. We have Kamen Rider Gav. So Kamen Rider and Red Eyes. Okay. And with that, let's wrap up the review. So I got to say, this SH Monsterarts Red Eyes Black Dragon really surprised me. I'm not buying these in order of release. So the first Monsterarts from the YuGiOh line, to put into perspective, that I got was the Flame Wingman. And I was pretty disappointed with that figure. He really just can't stand on his own, and he's just toppling all over the place. He's just very heavy between his wing as well as his right arm for the dragon head. Like, that guy cannot stand for anything. Now this guy, I want to say he is built quite nicely. He's got very nice articulation between the tail, the wings, the neck, and you got to finesse it a little bit, but he is able to stand on his own, and you can use his tail to balance that out, and it all works out perfectly. Again, Flame Wingman, not so much. So this guy really caught me by surprise. I was a bit skeptical, but I still took the plunge, and he is solid. Not to mention the paintwork. Like, this guy, he's got that like matte, like charcoal coloration, but he's got like hits of like just enough like red underneath there to just make it really pop. He is solid. The effect piece that he also comes with is really dope, and I know I'm going to be using it for other lines, meaning like Dragon Ball for sure. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment down below. You can check out my Instagram at GojiBoy93. We're going to find photos of this figure as well as many others in my collection. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. Till next time, guys. Peace.